faint ray of dawn crept through the cracks of the window. Ian struggled to lift his heavy eyelids. A ceiling adorned with unfamiliar patterns came into view. This isn't my room. A sense of unease began to rise. Turning his head, he saw a strange woman sleeping soundly under a silk blanket. Her jet-black hair cascaded over the white pillow, forming a beautiful curve. What on earth happened? He tried to recall the events of the previous night. Just a few days ago, he had celebrated his wedding with a truly beautiful bride. They spent their first night together, sharing shy smiles and trembling touches. The next morning, they received warm hospitality from his in-laws. Then, last evening, husband, tonight is a special night. His lovely bride looked up at him with sparkling eyes. It was the night of the first full moon of the lunar year, when people in Seoul would go out to perform the bridge-stepping ritual to ward off bad luck and pray for blessings. Ian, full of youthful curiosity, didn't feel like staying confined to the bridal chamber. Ah, indeed. I'd like to see the outside world too. It's late at night and dangerous. Please, just stay here with me. Despite his bride's objections, Ian's mind was already set on the festive streets. I'll be back shortly, I promise. In the end, he left his sleeping bride behind and sneaked out. The night streets were filled with excitement. People danced joyfully. Music played. Laughter echoed everywhere. Ian, caught up in the festive mood, joined in the merriment. He stepped on various bridges over Cheonggyecheon, drank with strangers, and danced with enthusiasm. Time flew by. Before he knew it, it was late at night. At the last stop, Supyeogyo Bridge, he succumbed to the effects of alcohol and lost consciousness. Ugh, I should go back now. His staggering steps led him astray. At the entrance of Saketgal, he collapsed on the ground. Then he faintly heard voices around him. Young master! Young master! Oh dear, what happened to you? Several people hurriedly approached to help him up. Ian, still dazed from the alcohol, couldn't gather his thoughts. Excuse me. Shoo, please don't speak. You must get up quickly. Without listening to his words, they grabbed his arms and led him somewhere. Unaware of what was happening, Ian was taken to a warm room in a nobleman's house. As he lay on the cozy bed, his eyelids closed again. He fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, he found a strange woman sleeping beside him. Excuse me. Ian called out to the woman as politely as possible. Who are you? She rubbed her sleepy eyes and looked up at him. Her clear, large eyes held an inexplicable sadness. I think I got lost last night after drinking. May I ask where I am? This is our home. Her answer made Ian's heart sink. By any chance, did someone in your household recently get married? The woman's expression darkened. Yes. Last night, my husband went out for the bridge stepping ritual and hasn't returned yet. Her words hit Ian like a hammer. Everything became clear. The servants of this house had mistaken the drunken Ian for her husband and brought him home. This is terrible. I've made a huge mistake. Please, forgive me. Ian bowed his head, his face flushed with embarrassment. The woman listened to his explanation. After a moment of silence, she spoke with a trembling voice. Spending a night with a man who isn't my husband. What should I do now? A woman who has lost her chastity has no reason to live. But I have elderly parents. If I die, who will take care of them? If the heavens have intertwined our fates this way, please accept me as your wife. I will serve you faithfully and care for my parents with devotion. Ian was deeply troubled by her earnest plea. As a newlywed and a son of strict parents, taking a concubine was unthinkable. I haven't even passed the state examination yet. I'm just a lowly scholar. I can't afford to take a concubine, and I can't tell my parents about this. Sensing his hesitation, the woman cautiously spoke again. In that case, I have a suggestion. Do you have an aunt's house where I could stay? Please let me stay there. And this matter must remain a secret from both our families. We shouldn't meet each other either. Then, someday, if you pass the examination and secure a respectable position, perhaps you could inform our families and we could live together. Unable to ignore her sorrowful and earnest gaze, Ian sighed deeply and nodded. All right, I will do as you wish. He carefully took her to his aunt's house. Though surprised by the unexpected guest, his aunt welcomed her warmly at Ian's earnest request. Chai Ryong diligently assisted his aunt and lived quietly. Ian, burdened with guilt, devoted himself even more to his studies. Meanwhile, chaos erupted in Chai Ryong's household. It was shocking enough that a stranger had entered the bridal chamber, but their daughter had also disappeared with him. To avoid scandal, they falsely announced that their daughter had died suddenly from an illness. They hastily held a modest funeral. Over the next 10 years, Ian studied day and night. Eventually, he passed the state examination. He secured a respectable government position. After a long wait, he mustered the courage to confess everything to his father. Father, I'm sorry. I've been hiding a significant secret from you. What is it? Did you obtain an insignificant position? No, father. It's about the night of my first wedding 10 years ago. Ian recounted the bizarre incident of the first full moon night, his encounter with Chai Ryong, their life together as concubine and scholar, everything that had transpired since. As his story progressed, his father's expression grew increasingly stern. What? A concubine? And someone else's bride at that? How could you commit such an outrageous act? What about our family's honor? What about your wife? Ian prostrated himself and begged for forgiveness. Father, I'm truly sorry. I didn't know what to do at the time. I couldn't ignore her unfortunate circumstances. And, over the past 10 years, she has devoted herself to me, supporting me in every way so I could focus on my studies. His father's stern expression softened slightly. He let out a deep sigh. What's done is done. However, you must not neglect either woman. You must also tell your wife the truth and strive to live harmoniously. Father, please don't worry. I've already told my wife everything. She sympathized with Chai Ryong's situation and agreed to accept her. His father looked at him in surprise. Is that true? Yes, father. My wife is a generous and kind-hearted person. Please, I humbly ask that you allow Chai Ryong to come live with us. His father fell silent, lost in thought. After a long pause, he finally spoke slowly. Your wife's compassion is truly admirable. And that girl, how much suffering she must have endured all these years. Bring her here. From now on, she will be part of this family. We must treat her with warmth and care. With his father's permission, Ian's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. He rushed to his aunt's house to deliver the joyful news. Upon hearing it, Chai Ryong took his hand and wept with joy. Husband, thank you. I have waited so long for this day. Now they could finally become a complete family. But one matter still remained: informing Chai Ryong's parents. She carefully took out a roll of red silk and handed it to Ian. Husband, please present this silk to my parents. It is the emperor's gift, once bestowed to my grandfather when he served as a royal interpreter in Beijing. If they see this, they will know I am truly their daughter and believe your words. Holding the red silk close to his chest, Ian stood in front of her old family home. The firmly closed gate seemed to reflect his anxious heart. Summoning his courage, he gently knocked on the door. Is anyone there? The heavy gate slowly creaked open. An elderly servant looked at him with a puzzled expression. Who might you be, sir? I am the husband of your lady. A look of confusion crossed the servant's face. Our young lady. She passed away 10 years ago. I know, Ian answered calmly. I have come today to reveal the truth. The servant, sensing the gravity in Ian's voice, hesitated briefly. Then he led him inside. They crossed the wide courtyard and stopped before the main room. The servant respectfully called toward the door. "Madam, a guest is here. He claims to be the husband of the young lady who passed away 10 years ago." After a moment, the door opened slowly. An elderly woman appeared, her eyes trembling with disbelief. Beside her stood an old man leaning on a cane, his expression carved with deep sorrow. They were Chai Ryong's parents. Een bowed deeply. "Greetings, honored elders. My name is Een." The old woman's lips quivered. "You say you are our daughter's husband? But our child has long been gone. Please, madam, do not be alarmed. I have come to speak the truth." Een carefully took out the red silk from his robe. He offered it respectfully with both hands. "If you see this, I believe you will understand." The old woman's hands trembled as she received the silk. She slowly unfolded it. The embroidered golden dragon shimmered softly in the light. It was unmistakably the gift once given by the emperor to her father. Tears streamed down her face. This is real." The old man approached slowly and examined the silk. His tightly sealed lips finally opened. "This is, without a doubt, my father's keepsake." The woman sobbed as she turned to Een. "Then what happened? Is our daughter truly alive?" Een recounted everything, how they met on that fateful night, how Chai Ryong became his concubine, their years spent together in hiding, and how he had finally passed the state exam and come to them with pride. At first, the elderly couple were overwhelmed with shock and confusion. But as Een spoke with quiet sincerity, their expressions softened. Just as the story came to an end, the door slowly opened once more. A familiar figure stepped inside with cautious steps. Though over a decade had passed, her grace had not faded. It was Chai Ryong. "Mother, father." At the sound of her trembling voice, the old couple rose to their feet. They ran to embrace their daughter. "My child, this isn't a dream. You're truly alive. Mother, I've missed you so very much." Mother and daughter clung to each other, tears streaming down their faces. The old man stood beside them, gently placing his hand on his daughter's shoulder. The elderly woman, teary-eyed, reached out and took Een's hand. "Yes, truly thank you for cherishing our daughter, for bringing her back to us." Chai Ryong stepped forward, her eyes glistening. She held Een's hand tightly. "Husband, truly thank you. I was never lonely during all those years, because of you." Een smiled warmly and gently held their hands. "It is I who must thank you. Because of you, I have come this far." From that day on, Chai Ryong's family was filled with life once more. They could no longer live in sorrow now that their daughter had returned. Her father, recognizing Een's talent and upright character, offered him unwavering support. With his wealthy father-in-law's backing, Een's career soared. He eventually became Minister of Rights, one of the highest and most honorable positions in government. His poetry moved hearts across the land. He became known as one of the greatest poets of his time. People often whispered behind his back, "A drunken night gave birth to a noble fate." But whenever Een heard such rumors, he would smile and simply reply, "That night, I did not lose my way. I found my destiny."